So this is your Chem101 LEC midterm exam. Let's have the first question. You have here oxidation. Yes? What was that?
Wala pa po nag-a-appear sa akin, ma'am. Hindi ko po alam kung sa akin lang po. Yung score po at saka yung tamang answer po, ma'am.
Wala. Sige, later na lang, i-rationalize ko na lang siya muna tapos gawa natin ng paraan later. I-take note nyo na lang muna yung, makita nyo ba kung minalian kayo ng Schoology or hindi? I-check daw. For example,
Makita ko ang correct answers, ma'am.
sige daw, Graciela, i-refresh daw. Okay. Iba makita na nila yung correct answers. Sige. Okay na?
Mag-refresh na lang ako, ma'am. Baka mahina po talaga ang net namin.
Okay, sige.
Thank you po.
Okay. Okay. Sige, let's start. Oxidation number signifies the number of charges the atom would have in a molecule or an ionic compound if electrons were transferred completely. So remember, class, we use the oxidation number or the charges to see whether an atom loses or gains electron or electron. So this one is true. Again, this one is true. Kindly check your answers there. And then all alkali metals and some alkaline earth metals. Alkali metals are the group 1 in the periodic table and alkaline earth metals yung group 2, which are the most reactive of the metallic elements, will not displace hydrogen from cold water. So this one naman is false. So bakit false? Remember, our metals can displace hydrogen if we look at the activity series of metals. Itong mga metals na ito, lithium, sodium, potassium, and even calcium, strontium, and barium are located above the hydrogen in the activity series of metals. So these metals are able to displace hydrogen from cold water. So false. Next, many metals, including those that do not react with water. Wait lang, your internet connection is unstable. Again, many metals, including those that do not react with water, are capable of displacing hydrogen from acid. So this one naman is true. So not just with the alkali and alkaline earth metals, we still have other metals class that are able to displace hydrogen from acids as long as they are listed above hydrogen in the activity series of metal. Next, oxidizing agent refers to the substance which loses electrons to the other substance and gets oxidized to the higher valency state. So our mnemonics here is Jeroa and Leora. Ano daw sabi? Oxidizing agent. Hanapin mo yung oxidizing agent dyan. Siyempre, this one is for the Jeroa. Gain of electron, reduction, oxidizing agent. So the oxidizing agent will gain the electron. So definitely, this one is false. Okay, again, this one is false because as per our mnemonics, oxidizing agents are those which undergo reduction and that they will gain electrons. So baliktad. So again, this one is false. Next, many important redox reactions take place in water, but not all redox reactions occur in aqueous solution. So this naman is true. So do not forget, most of our redox reactions take place in water, but not all. Most lang, not all. So this one is true. Next, aqueous-based solutions conduct electricity. So mga basic substances natin that are in aqueous solution, meaning they are dissolved in water. Water is used as the solvent. conduct electricity. So this one naman is true. Remember, our acids and bases are also considered as electrolytes, and even our water is considered as an electrolyte, though it is a weak electrolyte. Next, all ionic compounds are weak electrolytes, but they are not equally soluble. Again, all ionic compounds are weak electrolytes, but they are not equally soluble. This naman is false. Why? Because our ionic compounds are considered as strong electrolytes. Again, strong electrolytes yung ating ionic compounds. Do not forget, our ionic compounds are combination of metals and non-metals. Next, aqueous solutions composed of the solvent initially are a liquid or a solid, and wait lang. The solute is water. Again, aqueous solutions composed of the solvent initially are a liquid or a solid, and the solute is water. This one is false. Baliktad. Why? Kasi water for aqueous solution is used as a solvent. It is not the solute, but the solvent. And thus the solute can either be a liquid or a solid. Next, the solute is the substance present in a smaller amount, and the solvent is the substance present in larger amount. So this one is basically true. Again, this one is true. Most of the time, our solute is present in larger amount, in smaller amount than the solvent. Next, a metal in a compound can't be displaced by another metal in the elemental state. Again, a metal in a compound cannot be displaced by another metal in the elemental state. This one is false because remember, we have the single replacement reaction wherein we have more reactive metals that are capable in replacing original metals in our compounds. So again, this one is permissible as long as the metal to be used as a replacement is more reactive. Next, a neutralization reaction is a reaction between acid and a base. So this one is true. Again, this one is true. Pag sinabing acid and base reaction, we call it neutralization reaction. And then, hydrocyanic acid is a strong acid. It does not ionize appreciably in solution. So this is false. Hydrocyanic acid is considered a weak acid. It's a strong one, pero it will ionize in water because all acids and bases will actually ionize in water. So this one is false. Next, many important redox reactions take place in water. Therefore, all redox reactions occur in aqueous solution. Parang naulit lang ito na question kanina. May question tayo about redox reactions taking place in water, but not all. So since nagsabi siya dyan na all, automatically this becomes false. Next, many metals, including those that do not react with water, are not capable of displacing hydrogen from acids. Again, many metals, including those that do not react with water, are not capable of displacing hydrogen from acids. Kabaliktaran din ito ng statement kanina, no? So that statement, ganun pa rin. We have a lot of metals that are capable of displacing hydrogen from our acids. So as long as they are listed above the hydrogen in the list, activity series of metal. Next, water is a non-polar solvent. I think I have mentioned this morning. Water is a polar solvent. So this one is false. So water will just be capable of dissolving polar solute also. So it will not mix also with non-polar substances like our organic compounds. And then we have, which of the following describes a solution? 1, it is a homogeneous mixture of 2 or more substances. Yes, pag sinabing solution, it's homogeneous, meaning one or uniform yung kanyang appearance. Next, it consists of a solute and a solvent. Yes, this is true also. When you say solution, we only have 2 components, the solute and the solvent. And number 3, it is the number of moles of solute per liter of solution. Number 3 is the definition of our molarity. So it is not the description. It is not a description of our solution. So definitely the answer here is just 1 and 2. If you have questions, you may ask You may ask anytime. And then if merong corrections dyan, kindly take note na lang. Next, what is a molarity? So I think nasa previous question yung definition ni molarity. It is defined as moles of solute in 1 liter of solution. I think this is the answer, but let's read the other choices. It is an analytical technique based on the measurement of mass. This one is the definition of gravimetric analysis. The letter B here is the gravimetric analysis. And then it is added gradually to another solution of a known concentration. This is naman the definition of our standard solution. Standard solution are solutions used in titration wherein their concentrations are known. So they will be reacted with unknown substances. Next, it is the whole identity of the unknown. So definitely this is not the answer. And none of the choices also, since letter A is the correct answer. Next, describe indicators. So we have indicators like phenolphthalein, which we add in the titration process to see the endpoint. So first, let us read. It is usually signaled by a sharp change in the color of an indicator in the acid solution. It's usually signaled by a sharp change in the color of an indicator in the acid solution. I think that's not a correct statement. Let's see number 2. These are substances that have distinctly different colors in acidic and basic medium. This sentence is correct. When you say indicators, when you add them in an acid solution, they will change color. And then kung sa basic substance naman sila i-add, mag-change din sila ng another different color. So 2 is correct. How about 3? It is the point at which the acid has completely reacted with or been neutralized by the base. The third sentence is the definition of our equivalence point. The first actually is more on the end point. Kasi you will know the end point if meron ng change in color, but the change will be because of the indicator. So the correct answer here is 2 only. Again, 2 only lang yung correct dyan that best describes our indicators. 1 is for the endpoint and the third sentence is for the equivalence point. Next. Wala na siya. Nag-move na siya. Next, what is titration? So let us evaluate naman the following sentences. 1, it is the process in which one solution is added to another solution such that it reacts under conditions in which the added volume may be accurately measured. So remember, class, that one solution is added through a burette while the other solution is in a flask, for example, an Erlenmeyer flask. So definitely this is correct. The first sentence is correct since the solution in the burette, class, can always be added on the flask, and that since merong graduation yung ating burette, we can always measure the volume of the added substance. So again, the first sentence is Correct. How about it is used in quantitative analytical chemistry to determine an unknown concentration of an identified analyte? Yes, this one is also correct. When you say titration, always remember the purpose of doing titration is to determine the concentration of our sample. We know what is our sample, but we don't know the concentration. So that's the purpose of our titration. So sentence number 2 is also correct. How about number 3? It is a highly accurate technique highly accurate technique because the mass of a sample can be measured accurately. No, the mass will be on the gravimetric analysis. This time, concentration lang tayo. So the answer is 1 and 2. Okay. Next, number 20. What is the procedure for preparing a less concentrated solution from a more concentrated one? Diretso na ito, dilution. Pag nagpe-prepare tayo ng diluted or ng less concentrated substance, the process is called dilution. Now, how about the next question? Which of the following involves the transfer of electrons, and acid-base reactions involve the transfer of protons? What was this again? Transfer of electrons. So this will be redox reaction. So again, if there is transfer of electrons, that will be a redox titration. However, for acid-base reaction kasi, it's more of the protons, especially the hydrogen, that will be transferred to another substance. But definitely, there will be a change in the oxidation state when you transfer the protons or the hydrogen for the acid and the base. So that will still be included in the redox titration. Next, which of these laboratory apparatuses is used for titration? I think I have mentioned this a while ago, but we use the burette in titration. Next, what is the color of phenolphthalein when added in a sodium hydroxide solution? Class, do not forget that sodium hydroxide is a basic substance. It's an alkali or an alkaline substance in which when phenolphthalein is added to a basic substance, the color will be turned into reddish pink, pero duhakbok ang reddish pink. So either of the two, paki-take note if ever reddish pink naman ang answer ninyo, pero di malian sa Schoology. Kasi isang reddish pink lang yung na-set na answer dyan. However, take note class that if you place sodium hydroxide in an acidic solution naman, example vinegar, the phenolphthalein will be colorless. Okay, next. Which of the following refers to the amount of solute present in a given amount of solvent or a given amount of solution? This is the definition of our concentration. Pag sinabing concentration, yun yung gaano karami na solute ang dinisolve natin in our solvent. Next. Which of the following refers to an analytical technique used to determine the concentration of a sample using a solution with known concentration? Since we have answered the previous questions involving titration, so definitely diretso na ito. This will be the definition of titration class. Titration ha, if we want to know the concentration of our unknown. Ang gravimetric analysis naman involves the process, the reaction, the precipitation reaction, and that it involves measurement of the mass of our substance. And then again, dilution is the preparation of less concentrated substance from a more concentrated one. And the precipitation is a type of reaction wherein there will be a formation of a precipitate or a solid substance that do not dissolve in the liquid part of the solution. Next, which of the following refers to an analytical technique used to determine the analyte or sample based on its mass? So this time the question is on the mass, therefore it's gravimetric analysis. And then which of the following refers to a solution with accurately known concentration used in titration. I think I have mentioned this also a while ago. This is the definition of our standard solution. So again, standard solution is the known solution which is used in titration. What I mean known is known ang kanyang concentration. Next, what is the molecular weight of sodium carbonate? So si sodium carbonate is Na2CO3. Sorry, CO3 I cannot make it as the subscript ha, yung number, yung 2 and 3 wala akong option here to make it as subscripts. But nevertheless, we'll have sodium, carbon, and oxygen here. We have 2 sodium times 23. So this is 46. While for carbon, you only have 1 atom there times 16. So this is 16 here. And lastly, we have 3 atoms of oxygen times 16. So yung atomic weight niya has 16. So this one is 48. So 46 plus 16 plus 8 is 100. 46, 16, and 48 is 106 grams per mole. So I hope nakuha nyo yan para sa molecular weight. Next, arrange the following steps according to the procedure for preparing a solution of known molarity. Let's read. A known amount of a solid solute is transferred into the volumetric flask. Then water is added through a funnel. Where should we start? Remember when we are doing standardization, when you want to know the molarity of your solution, you will start with, yeah, this one. After knowing, let me write on the screen. It's difficult for me if I will not write the screen. You will start here. You have to first measure an amount of solid, dissolve it in your solvent and transfer it in a volumetric flask. And then after, syempre, i-dissolve mo na siya with water. After that, i-dissolve mo siya na. So this is number 2. And number 3, after the solid has been dissolved, yun na yung i-complete mo yung volume. So you have to add more water until the mark of the flask. And syempre, this will be number 4. Knowing the volume of the solution and the amount of solute dissolved in it, we can now calculate for the molarity of the prepared solution. So this is 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 3, 2, 4. So this is this one, letter B. Una yung 1, and then 3, 2, and 4. Okay, and then which of the following statements are true about gravimetric analysis? One, it is a highly accurate technique because the mass of a sample can be measured accurately. Yes, that is true. And then generally this procedure is applied to ionic compounds. That is also true. Just remember when you say precipitation reaction, most of the time it involves ionic compounds. So we don't really get precipitate for organic compounds. We don't get that much of precipitate. And lastly, it is usually signaled by a sharp change in the color of an indicator in the acid solution. This is not true because this is for the titration. So 1 and 2 only. Next, arrange the following steps according to the procedure for preparing a solution of known molarity. Naulit na eh. Ay, what is this? Sorry class, I'm not the one who made the exam on God. So, hindi ko memorize. Ito. Ang gumawa kasi nito si Ma'am Charm. Knowing the mass. This should not be the molarity, right? This is for the gravimetric analysis. Tama ba? This is for the gravimetric analysis. Bakit may precipitate? Well, let's read. Knowing the mass and chemical formula of the precipitate formed, we can calculate the mass of a particular chemical component of the original sample. This should be last. This should be 4. Anya? Ay, sorry. This should, wait lang. Let me delete this first. A sample substance of unknown composition is dissolved in water and allowed to react with another substance to form, and this is number 1. And then the precipitate is filtered off. This is number 2. Dried and weighed. And then, if alam na natin yung mass, then yes, we can calculate. So this is 3. Finally, from the mass of the component and the mass of the original sample, we can determine the percent composition by mass of the component in the original compound. Okay, so this is it. It should be 2, 3, 1, and 4. Let's look at the choices. 2, 3, 1, and 4. Okay, alam, may problem tayo with the question. This should not be in molarity, right? Kasi the process is for the gravimetric analysis. So this will be the procedure of the gravimetric analysis where we have two substances na mag-react with each other and wait for them to form the precipitate. And then we will get the precipitate, dry it using the oven, filter and dry it. And then after that, we can compute sa mass ng ating nakuha and mass ng ating original sample. Meron ba ang dito mali for this item? Wala. Tama mo tanan. Bisag mali ang question. Okay, continue tayo. Which of the following statement are true about potassium hydrogen phthalate, or we abbreviate this as KHP, or we also call this as potassium acid phthalate. We have it is a monoprotic base often chosen in titration. This is false because remember nga we call it potassium acid phthalate, so 1 is not included. The molecular formula is KCH8H4O4 with a molar mass of 204.2. That is correct. This one is the correct chemical formula of the KHP. It is a white soluble solid that is commercially available in highly pure form. That one is also correct. So the answer here is 2 and 3. And which of the following are considered as commonly used oxidizing agents? Alin dyan yung ginagamit natin? We have potassium permanganate is correct. Potassium dichromate is also correct. I think this one is included in the last portion of our PowerPoint presentation. We only have 2, potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate. The other one, potassium chromate, is not really used as an oxidizing agent. Next, which of the following statements is true about redox titration? Wait lang. Redox. The equivalence point is reached when the reducing agent is completely oxidized by the oxidizing agent. This is correct. Remember, pag redox reaction, what we are trying to react is an oxidizing agent and a reducing agent. So the oxidizing agent will be reduced and then the reducing agent will be oxidized, the other way around na silang duha. Next, the equivalence point is reached when the oxidizing agent is completely oxidized by the reducing agent. Oxidizing agent should be reduced. Baliktad siya, class. Si reducing agent ma-oxidize and then dapat si oxidizing agent ma-reduce. Baliktad na silang duha. So this one, oxidizing agent is completely oxidized. This is not correct. And then the indicator assumes the color of its oxidized form, but it is present in an oxidizing medium. So this one naman is correct. For acid-base titration, meron tayong indicators na mag-change ng color pag nag-change ang pH, kung magiging acidic siya or magiging basic. But for redox reaction, class, the color change of the indicator is dependent whether it is oxidized or reduced. So 1 and 3 ang answer natin here. Where is 1 and 3? This one. The last one. Okay. And then we have, which of the following are true about concentration? Concentration is an intensive property. So its value does not depend on how much the solution is present. Yes, this is correct. Concentration is intensive. Ha? It doesn't matter how much matter we are trying to consider. Next, syempre mali mo tong number 2. Kung intensive concentration, automatic, the number 2 is incorrect kasi it says na extensive property siya. And then the third one, I think, is the definition of our concentration, the amount of solute present in a given amount of solute. Yeah, that's the definition of our concentration. So that's 1 and 3. Okay, 1 and 3. Okay. Next, how is concentration affected by dilution? Dilution is the addition of solvent, which decreases the concentration of the solute in the solution. This one is correct. Okay, this one is correct. Again, pag nagdi-dilute tayo, ang ina-add natin solvent. So, nag-change ang concentration. Dilution is the addition of solvent, which increases. So this one is incorrect automatically. Remember, ang dilution, ang process niyan ay gagawa tayo ng solution na may less na concentration. Dilution is the addition of solute. This is automatically wrong. Both of them. So wala na tayong ibang choice dyan. Letter A na lang talaga. When you answer a multiple choices na question, yun yung gawin nyo ha, you do elimination of the choices until makita nyo yung tamang answer. Ang lisod kong na-eliminate silang tanan, wala mo'y napili. So be careful also, you really have to read the sentences carefully and depende kung anong hinahanap, yung correct ba na sentence or yung mali na statement. That's what I did during I took the board exam. So, syempre kamo, you're going there though you are still in your first year. Pero after how many years, you will also be taking the board exam. And that the board exam is multiple choices man talaga yan. And most of the time, it will be in Morse type questions. So, kaya napansin nyo class, most of the questions sa inyong mga exam nakaganito. Itong 1, 2, and 3. Kasi this is how they do the question in the board exam. So kaya sinasanay kayong mag-answer ng ganitong question. So it's okay kung ngayon first year pa kayo, hindi niyo pa siya masyado makuha. But when you reach 4th year, sana masanay kayo. Ang problema ko na 4th year na wala pagyapon. Wala pagyapon na anad mag-answer ug ingani nga question. But nevertheless, let's have number 37. What effect does adding more solute have on the concentration of a solution? Again, what is added here? The solute. So increasing the solute would increase the concentration. Yes, that is correct. Magsulat, but wait. This one is correct. If you increase the solute, syempre mag-increase din ang concentration. Increasing the solvent would decrease the concentration. This is true. Remember sa dilution, pag mag-add ka ng solvent, bababa yung concentration mo. Dilution ang tawag dyan. Increasing the solute would decrease the concentration. This is incorrect. So, ang tama lang na sentence dito is 1 and 2. Okay, but actually I have a problem with this because the question is on the solute. If I answer this, wait lang. Adding more solute have on the concentration. Since the question is just asking for the adding of more solute, and what will happen to the concentration, most likely the correct answer is 1 only. Kasi this will be for the solvent, though that is also a correct sentence, pero hindi naman correct sentence ang hinahanap niya. So if you answer 1 only, I'll consider that. Okay, again, if you answered one only, I'll consider that. Please take note first. Next, name the precipitate produced in the chemical reaction. How do you know if it is a precipitate? It is a solid product formed in the reaction. So as you can see, yung mga nasa open and closed parentheses, yun yung kanilang state. So this one, the reactants are both aqueous, dissolved in water, while the product, the potassium nitrate, is in aqueous solution also, so this is liquid, and then this one is the solid. Therefore, the correct answer is the lead iodide, specifically the lead 2 iodide. So where is that? This one, the lead iodide. 39. What is the color of the precipitate? What is the color of the precipitate produced in a chemical reaction? Lead nitrate plus potassium iodide. You have the lead iodide. If you studied the PowerPoint presentation, lead iodide is one of the example sa precipitate. Dito, look at the PPT. Nandun yung color ni lead iodide, di ba? Si lead iodide ang solid dyan, so siya yung precipitate. Anong color nakalagay dyan for lead iodide? Sa color na kabutang diha. Sa precipitate niya. Wala ninyo nakita na.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, very good. It's yellow. Again, it's yellow. So the answer here is yellow. Which of the following is a green precipitate? Look at the picture again. Sa dapit sa ilaha ang green. It's the nickel. Yeah, it's the nickel. Nickel hydroxide. So, mga examples of precipitate yan sila. Next, which of the following is another name for a homogeneous mixture? It's always the solution class if we are talking about a homogeneous mixture. Next, when solute dissolves into a solvent, it is called what? Pag ma-dissolve na si solute sa kay solvent, syempre solution na siya. Ang ending niya, solution. Since we're not talking about the amount, so you should not answer concentration, ha? Yun lang is the act of dissolving the solute in the solvent. The resulting one is called the solution. Now, what is a solvent? The substance that does the dissolving in the solution. Yeah, this is correct. Let us look at the other choices. The substance that is being dissolved, no, this one is for the solute. The mixing of different substances, no. The process in which neutral molecules lose or gain electron, that's a redox reaction. So definitely wala ka ng ibang choice then. It is letter A, the first one. And then a solution has a concentration of 3.5 molar. This means, di ba pag sinabing molar, that's moles per liter. So that will be 3.5 moles sa isang litro ng solution. Take note, solution ha, hindi solvent. So what's the correct answer here? Let's look at this one is solvent, solute. 3.5 moles of solute. Okay, this one, the letter C. There are 3.5 moles of solute for every 1 liter of solution. That is for the 3.5 molar. And then, you can make a solution more concentrated by adding more. If you want to have more concentrated solutions, syempre, ang solute ang i-add mo. Pero kung less concentrated, ang i-add natin ha, solvent. Okay, but the answer here is solute. Next, what is a solute? The substance that does the dissolving? No. The substance that is being dissolved? Yes, that's letter B. It's the same choices from the previous question, but this time it's for the solute. So letter B. Next, how much 0.5 molar HCl solution can be made by diluting 250 ml? So this is V1, this is C1. Kasi ito yung i-dilute natin. And then therefore, this is C2. So if we use this formula, C1 is 10 m, volume is 250 ml, and then C2 is 0.05 m. We will be looking for the V2, let's divide both sides, 0.05 m. Let's cancel the m. And then the volume is 10 times 250 divided by 0.05 is 50,000 ml. So that's letter C. Okay, 50,000 ml. Next, we are almost done. Mag-activity na ta after. What is the molarity of a solution made by diluting 36.5 ml of 6.00 molar nitric acid to a volume of 250 ml? So definitely this is B1, this is C1, and this is V2. So ganun pa rin, 6.00 m times the V1, which is 36.5 ml. And then we are looking for the second concentration. The volume is 250 ml. So divide both sides. Let's cancel this. You will be left with molar. 6.0 times 36.5 divided by 250 is 0.876 molar. Let's look at the choices. It's letter C. Okay. It's letter, no, walay letter C din ha, but that is considered as letter C. And then 49, which of the following refers to the amount? Okay, here it goes again. The amount of the solute dissolved in a given amount of solvent. That's definition of concentration. And then describe acids. Yes, it has a sour taste. So this one is correct. Basta acid most of the time. Sour na siya. Change the color of litmus from blue to red. Yes, this is correct. Pag acid ha, red ang atuang litmus paper. Change the color of litmus from red to blue. This is incorrect. So we don't have other answers here. 1 and 2 lang talaga. Where is 1 and 2? That is letter C. Next. 51. Which of the following are acids? Okay. This is phosphoric acid. So this one is an acid. And then this is sulfuric acid. So definitely included din siya. And then this is acetic acid. So silang lahat. 1, 2, and 3. Okay? And then which of the following are considered as weak acids? Let's see. You have the table. I think you have the table here for the weak acids in yung PowerPoint presentation. Included dyan si hydrofluorous acid, but not the phosphoric acid. It's considered a strong one. Sorry, this is H3PO4. What's the question? Considered weak acid. I think the phosphoric acid was included. Wait, let me check first, ha? Because I cannot remember. Sa kadaghan. Where is that again? I think it's phosphoric acid. Oh. It should be 1 and 3. Wala sa ano, no? But phosphoric acid, H3PO4, yeah, that is a strong one. Hindi nga siya ginamix basta-basta with other substance because this is considered a strong one. So weak. And then hydroiodic acid is also a weak one. So the answer is supposed to be 1 and 3. Kindly check. Okay, I think the answer here is 1 and 2, but the correct answer should have been 1 and 3. Double check natin. Hindi tayo mamali. Yeah. HI is considered a weak one. Next. Which of the following refers to the substance which loses electrons to the other substance and gets oxidized? Para madali, class, let's go back to the Leora. Kasi loses electron man. So loss of electron, oxidation, reducing agent. So the one that loses electron is the reducing agent. So this one is the answer. Kasi you are looking for the substance, ha? So the substance is called reducing agent. Now, how about which of the following refers to chemical substances whose atoms remove at least one electron from another atom in a chemical reaction? So, sino daw yung nagre-remove ng electron from another substance? Reducing, oxidizing. The answer should be oxidizing agent. Kasi ganito. Oxidizing agent, class, siya yung mag-gain ng electron. So since siya yung nag-gain ng electron, siya yung dahilan bakit mag-lose ng electron yung other substance. So siya yung magre-remove ng at least one electron from the other substance. So that is the oxidizing agent. Siya yung mag-gain, so siya yung kukuha. Siyang dahilan bakit may ma-remove na electron from the other substance. Next, which of the following is a reaction in which two or more substances combine to form a single product? Combine, ha? The word is combine, so definitely that is a combination reaction. Okay, let me correct that one later, Judel. Was not able to see the HI, hydroiodic acid. Okay, i-check natin later. Balikan natin later. Anong number nga yun? Ayan na lang. Okay, basig din na to. This one. Weak acid, so that should be one only, right? Kasi weak acid ang question, no? Which of the following are considered weak acids? That will be HF only. So one only. Kindly recheck. Okay. I mean, kindly take note first. We'll recheck later. Which of the following chemical reaction refers to an ion or atom in a compound that is replaced? Which is replaced by an ion or an atom of another element. So kung merong replacement ng isang ion or atom to another atom, that is just called displacement reaction. So hindi naman kasi siya specific for hydrogen, so it's not really the hydrogen replacement. Okay? So displacement reaction lang siya. This is actually also called replacement reaction. Which of the following is an example of a decomposition reaction? Decomposition has a compound will decompose to its component. Heating potassium chlorate produces oxygen. This is correct. Let me write it on the screen. Pag i-heat mo si potassium chlorate, KClO3, magiging KCl yan siya plus the oxygen. Okay? And then sulfur burning in air to form sulfur dioxide. This is baliktad. This one is not correct since this is a synthesis or combination reaction. And then sodium burning in chlorine to form sodium chloride. Sodium daw, mag-burn siya with chlorine to form sodium chloride. So this one is also a synthesis reaction. That's the question again. Decomposition reaction. So the correct answer is just the first one. Okay? I hope nakuha yon. Tama ba yung answers niyo dyan? And then second to the last, what type of chemical reaction happens? Naulit na ito, no? This one is neutralization reaction. That is for acids and bases. And then this one, I have checked this also. Na-check ko na ito, yung submission nyo for this. Yun yung lang makita ang scores. Noon sa ng Schoology. So, una makita ninyo yung scores karon. I don't know what's the problem. Now, what is the percent by mass of chloride in an unknown sample weighing 2.978 grams, which produced 1.51 grams of lead chloride when reacted with lead nitrate? This one produced, which means this one class is the precipitate, while this one is for the original substance, which is actually unknown. And then remember, we have 3 steps. The first step here for number 61 is for the computation of percent chloride in our precipitate, in which we use the atomic weight of our chlorine divided by the molecular weight of the precipitate times 100. The atomic weight of chlorine here, what is our precipitate? Lead chloride, PbCl2. This is 207, right? Tama ba ko? Can you check? 207 yung lead, no? So that's 207 times 1, that is still 207. But for chloride, this is 35 times 2. This is equal to 70. So 270 plus 200, 207 plus 70 is 277. But since ang chloride dyan ay dalawa, I think nung nag-check ako, meron pa rin akong nakita na isang chloride lang yung in-account for the precipitate, na dalawang atom yan siya. So you should have used 70 here divided by 277 times 100. So 70 divided by 277 is 0.252707581 times 100 is 25.27%. But we are not yet done. The step 2 here is computation of the amount of chloride in the precipitate. So this is the mass of the chloride in our precipitate. This is just multiplying the percent chloride of precipitate times its weight. Weight ng ating precipitate. So that's 25.27% times the weight in the given is 1.51 grams. So gawin mo itong decimal, this becomes 0.2527 times 1.51 grams is, wait lang, 0.3816 grams. And then the step 3, dito na lang, so wala na akong space, will now be for the computation of chlorine, percent of chlorine, dun na sa ating unknown. So ito, to compute this, we need the mass of the chlorine sa precipitate natin divided by yung mass or yung weight ng ating unknown times 100. So the computed amount is 0.3816 grams divided by the weight of the unknown in the given is 2.978 grams times 100. You have to cancel this. So the correct answer is 0.3816 divided by 2.978 tama no, 978 times 100. The correct answer here is 12.81%. Again, the correct answer is 12.81%. You have questions for number 61? Okay, sige, Precious. Wala. I have considered actually answers that are near the 12.81%. Yung hindi ko na-consider yung 1 lang talaga na chlorine ang ginamit, kaya yung answer nila is somewhere 6.40 something %. So yun yung hindi ko na-consider. Yung iba, yung malapit lang sa 12.81 kasi nagkakatalo lang tayo doon sa pag-round off. Just like sa first step, I only used 2 decimal places, and the second step, I used 4 decimal places. And then I round off the final answer to 2 decimal places. Doon lang nagkakatalo. But it's near 12.81, then that will be considered. Okay? The question sa number 1, kay sa number 61, magdiretso ta sa 62. What is the molar concentration of a 500 ml solution containing 3.5 grams aluminum hydroxide? So we will be computing for the molarity. That will be moles per liter. However, we still don't have the mole, so we have to compute for that. This is weight divided by the molecular weight. And then the weight given is 3.5 grams. While the molecular weight, we have here aluminum hydroxide. So you have 27 times 1. This is 27. And then you have oxygen. Tatlong oxygen yan siya ha. Tatlo times 16. This is 48. And then you have hydrogen. Tatlo din yan. Remember the subscript here is for both the oxygen and the hydrogen. So this is 3. So pila ni siya? 27 plus 48 plus 3. This is 78. So dapat ang ginamit niyo here is 78 grams per mole. Let's cancel this. 3.5 divided by 78. Oops, sorry. 0.044871794 mole. So, pwede mo nang gamitin yan here. And then, i-divide natin siya sa liter. What is again the given? 500 ml. You just have to convert 500 ml to liters. So, this one is 0.5 liters. Divided by 0.5. What's my instruction? 2 decimal places. Nearest hundreds. So pag sinabing nearest hundreds, that will be 2 decimal places. So 0.09 moles per liter or simply capital letter M. Okay, questions? I have considered also answers that are near 0.09. Next, let number 63. For number 63, how many ml are needed from the stock solution is the C1 here. 4.5 is the C1. Okay, sige, genial. The solution to make 0.25 liters, syempre this is the V2. Remember to make. And then 3.3 m is the C2. So therefore, we are looking for the V1. Okay, so C1 is 4.5 m. And then the V1 is unknown. And then the C2 is 3 m. And that the V2 is 0.25 liters. We can actually convert this directly. Kay ml may gipangita. So sa isang liter class, meron tayong 1,000 ml. So 0.25 times 1,000 is 250 ml. So we can directly use the 250 ml here. Let's divide both sides with this one. And then let's cancel the m. V1 is 250 times 3 divided by 4.5 is 166.67 ml. This is the correct answer. Kindly check your submission. I hope you have still the copy of your answers sa exam. And then lastly, this one is the last one. Molar concentration of 200 ml solution prepared from. So this one is the V1 and this is the C1. Definitely this will be the V2 and we are looking for the C2. So C1 is 2.75 m and then V1 is 100 ml. C2 is unknown and then V2 is 200 ml. Let's divide both sides with 200 ml so that we can isolate the C2. Let's cancel the ml also. So this is 2.75 times 100 divided by 200. 2 2 decimal places, so 1.38. And so that is the answer for number 64. I guess this is the last one for the exam. Any question?